It gives a little bit more room for the tongue, as opposed to a straight bit where it's right on the tongue.
Dang.
A higher arch would have more effect on the
I have another
top of the
chair in the
mouth,
trailer if you
and
want it.
But other than that, on a
You go
slight Mullen
straight
muffler
into
like
the
this, it's
tack
just
room.
really
It's
giving more room
behind
for the
you.
tongue.
It's on the
And
wall
breeds
underneath
like
the clothes rack. It's black.
Friesians, warm bloods, and
Nope, I'm good, thanks.
even Welsh ponies that have like teacup noses, but they have thicker tongues. They just need that extra room.
I found that a lot with my mini.
Yeah, Minnie's the same.
Yeah, he's taking much more hold now.
Yep.
Right after that.
And it's the opposite to what you would think.
Yeah. I would have thought he backed off it more.
Yep. But that was a nice bend that direction.
That's what I was getting. Really excited.
Yep. Okay, just walk, and then whenever you're ready, develop a TROT and show me both directions and circle both directions, and let's see what's happening. Not really.
I think
No.
it's your microphone.
Yeah. A little more impulsion. Don't drop that rein. Okay, Lynn, come on in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So most of that you were under impulsion. Not enough impulsion, so he's not going to go forward onto the bit. Your rhythm was pretty good if the impulsion was there. So we need to get that impulsion there. Your handling of the reins You know, when we talked last time, we were talking about, you know, keeping the V in your knuckles,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so that you could keep that, you know, even though you were supporting and holding, you are still soft, you know, right from here all the way through. You just, if it moves his tongue, it just naturally moves.
Yeah.
And you're having a tendency to go like that again,
Okay.
which is getting, you know, which
Locks him.
it can't, you know, like your hand can't get any longer there. It just is stuck. And, you know, I think what he's getting into that, and then he's just like locking up here.
Gotcha.
And so what we want to do is we want to shorten your range just a little bit, not that much, maybe a quarter of an inch or so, but be softer with that, and then try and push him up onto that, so that he's coming up on the bit.
Okay.
It's because right at the moment he's trying to go through it like this and locking on it. We want
I
up
feel
on
like I'm
it.
right at that point.
Yeah, we just need to go.
You just, yes, just
Yep.
need to tip over.
And without impulsion, it won't happen.
The impulsion. So he's really well trained that if you cluck, he changes gait. So we've kind of worked that down to just changing speed. But every time I ask him, I get that throw the head up and then go fast.
Yeah.
And I feel like when his head's up and I try to capture it, it just...
Well, before you ask him to go forward, try and just see if you can get him to come down a little bit. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Done that a little bit. It does help.
And wait till he does that before you
Okay.
send him forward. Okay.
But it has felt like I've been nagging him. That's something I've been focusing on, and I'll ask him to go forward, and if I get a response, either with voice or whip, a couple strides, and then it's...
Well, remember I said it's like husbands, you know, you just have to keep reminding them what they're doing, you know, take the garbage out, take the garbage out. Yeah.
It's like constantly...
Well, what'll happen is in the beginning you'll have to do it a lot. But then when they get to be like Jeff's age, you know, they're well trained, and you don't have to do it as often.
That's true.
You know, so it's the same with your horse. And in the beginning, is you know, like riding a green horse, you know, you're going to use a lot of leg, a lot of leg, a lot of leg. But as they get more trained, you know, you're going to use a lot less leg than you would when you first start riding them.
And the head pop still, because he's...
That's an unbalanced thing. You know, he's trying to find his balance, and that's, you know, that's his, you know.
He's used to doing it that way.
Yeah, he's trying to get his hind end underneath him, and when he does that, his front end's coming up, as opposed to coming onto the bit. He's coming up like this, right? So he's attempting to do what you're asking, but he's not doing it the way you want him to. You want him to do that.
Okay. Let's try again.
Yeah, it's a balance thing. Impulsion, rhythm. The rhythm could be just a hair faster, not much faster, just a hair faster. More impulsion, and then more contact or frame. So we just want a little bit shorter rein, and then send him to it. And then we want if your hands are like this, your muscles will release the moment his head comes down, instantly, without you having to think about it, which will release the curb chain. So he's like, oh, that feels better. And then when he goes back up, it's tight. And then when he comes back down, it releases, and he's like, oh, that feels better. And then he just will be doing this, and then he'll be like, oh, it's better to stay down here.
He's on the right track. It's just not real sure that that's where I was supposed to be.
Yeah. Right, I always think the three things: impulsion, rhythm, I call it frame, but contact, same thing. If it's not going well, one of those three ingredients aren't there.
With him, it's usually been the impulsion.
Yeah.
As I send him more forward, it gets better.
Yeah. Better. Oh, it is. You know what? I think I'll just put it in the slot so that doesn't happen.